It's BMG Radio. We're back. We're kind of back. We'll see what happens. Let's go back in the saddle. Let's go horse edition. Let's get to it. Brought to you by the Better Movie Guy. Oh, and this ultra cool music is by Tim from the Late Review. Because he's awesome. Yeah. Let's get to it. Yeah. All right, hi, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm Bearded Movie Guy. This is BMG Radio. This is the return, the relaunch, the whatever you want to call it of BMG Radio. So, here we go, I guess. I'm hoping this works. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a nice, sorry, everybody. That's me not being smart. So yeah. Back to BMG Radio. There we go. I messed up the audio. Sorry, I'm checking the comment thing and I left it on. Anyways, BMG Radio, we're back. And if you don't know, BMG Radio is my little thing that I started a while back where it's roughly half an hour of me just talking about stuff, talking about news, talking about what I've been buying, all that kind of stuff, people that I think are awesome and deserve some attention. And yeah, this is my chance. Now, I've been lazy. I'll be completely honest. I've been super lazy lately, and I haven't been putting on much stuff, but I actually just had a meeting yesterday with my friend Bear, who taught me how to edit, and Bear and me are going to be working together coming up in the next couple of weeks. He's going to be kind of producing my stuff for me. So he's going to help me do some editing. He's going to help me make sure I stay on point and get 1 or 2 videos out each week. And I thought since he's going to do all that hard work for me, I should get my ass in gear and start BMG Radio back up, and today's the day. So BMG Radio hopefully is going to be playing every Monday, unless there's no reason to, or unless it's a holiday maybe, I don't know. But 9:30 Monday nights for roughly half an hour, maybe go longer if you guys love me a lot. And it's just, we're going to look at news. We're going to look at like what I've collected, some stuff. I don't know, whatever I feel like talking about, and whatever you feel like me talking about, because you can ask me questions throughout the week. You can use my Twitter, you can use my Facebook, you can email me at beardedmovieguy@outlook.com. You can do whatever. Smoke signals work if you're close enough, I guess. And I will answer any question you give me. And if you're in the chat, which I know my friend CP is, well, like reviews, check his channel out if you haven't checked it out, but you probably have because, you know, we're friends. You can ask me questions in the chat. Now, I will not answer any of the questions in the chat really until the end, but you can ask them throughout the chat, and I'll go back to the beginning of the chat, assuming the chat lets me do that. I'm thinking, well, and I'll answer any question you want to give me throughout the show, and I'll try and keep track of the chat, which I'll do right now. Hold on 1 second. Producing myself sucks. All right, there we go. So yeah, CP is the only one in the chat right now, which is fine. And I don't know, I think he's the only one watching. Yeah, there's like 2 of us, so I'm the other person. That's okay. So starting off, we're gonna get to the news, and I have a few news stories I want to talk about. Number 1, bone. Do you know what bone is? I know what bone is, and not boner, and not like the thing in your arm. There was a comic book years ago put up by a guy named Jeff Smith called Bone, and it is delightful. It is literally one of the most enjoyable reads you're ever going to have as a child or an adult. It's about these 3 cousins they're called Bones, and they're white, and they kind of have roundish heads and noses, and they come from a place called Boneville, and they end up in a valley because they get chased out of Boneville for various reasons. And they end up in a valley, and there's dragons and stupid rat creatures and a grandma who can outrace cows and a girl named Thorn. It's one of the most awesome comics ever. I was a huge fan of it, still am a huge fan of it. And they've been talking about making this into a movie forever. And Disney apparently looked at it once, and Warner Brothers looked at it, and I don't know, but apparently they're going to do it. Now, the latest thing I heard is it came up as a newsfeed thing, and I was like, whoo, Bone. It says the director of Kung Fu Panda, I don't know if that was the first one or the second one, or whichever, is interested in, or he's being slated to direct it. And apparently my audio dropped out. So hold on. Oh, CP's, never mind. Okay. So yeah, he's been slated to direct this. So in the next year or two, like I would love to have photos of Bone to show you how cool it is and how cute he is, and he's pretty adorable, and he's you know, but overall, this is a movie that you should be paying attention to. I don't know why Disney didn't make it back years ago. So, but they didn't, and the fact that it's just being made now makes me just happy. I wish it would have been a bit sooner because my kids would have been younger, but it's okay. I'll take it whenever I can get it. If it takes me till I'm 60, I'll wait for a Bone movie because it's that good. The source material is that good. All right, next thing I wanted to move on to. You ever watch a trailer? Just sit there and watch a trailer, and like you just can't believe you're watching what they're showing you, and they're watching something that you've loved. So you're watching a story that they've stolen that you love. You love this story, but they're changing it and they're messing with it, and they're ripping off a story that you love. This happened to me this week. Um, I was going through trailers, which I do. I like watching trailers. I don't know if you like watching trailers, but I like watching trailers. And I don't even care what the trailer is generally. I'll just see what it is. Like I'll just watch them. And a movie called Before I Fall um trailer was there. It was just in the list, so I clicked it and watched it. And it's about a girl wakes up at 6:30 or whatever and goes to school, and it's like one of her last days of school. And she just hangs out with her three friends and has the normal day, and then goes to a party that night, and then on the way home they seem to get hit by a truck. And the next thing she knows, she wakes up in bed at 6:30, and it's the same day. And so she goes through that whole day again, thinking maybe she dreamed it, and no, everything's the same. And then that night, she somehow gets either hit by a truck or the car goes off the road or whatever, and I don't know. She wakes back in bed. So, what movie does that sound like? Because I'll be honest, if you don't know, I'm a huge Bill Murray fan. He's actually my favorite actor. He tied with Clint Eastwood, and I watched the trailer, and the more the trailer played, the more I'm like, fuck you. And I don't usually swear much on my channel, but I was so pissed off because this is Groundhog's Day, and or Groundhog Day, whatever. This is a Bill Murray movie put in a teenage girl's body, and I'm not happy about it. It looks freaking stupid and annoying, and just, yeah. It comes out on March 3rd, has no one you know in it, is not directed by anybody you'll ever know, hopefully, because, But, yeah, it's, they're remaking Groundhog's Day with teenage girls, basically. Bullshit. It's just, yeah, it's bullshit. And the last bit of news I want to talk about, it's not so much news, it's just I saw the trailer for Kong. And you probably saw the trailer for Kong or Skull Island or whatever. I think it's Kong Skull Island or whatever. I'm too lazy to go look it up right now, or I would. But yeah, I saw that trailer, and it looks good. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I personally think this looks really good. It looks silly in parts, and I still don't think Kong looks big enough to actually beat the Godzilla that we saw a couple years back from Gareth Edwards. But because that's the whole thing, is like they're trying to make Godzilla and Kong fight each other, because once upon a time they did that. And there's a fun story about that, how I got locked out of a school who was supposed to watch that when I was a kid, and I'm not going to get into that right now. But these two are supposed to end up fighting sooner or later, so it's supposed to be Godzilla versus Kong. And so they've made Kong like way bigger than Kong's ever been before. But I don't know. It looks like it could work. Plus, you got Tom Hiddleston, you got Samuel Jackson, John C. Reilly being really funny. John C. Reilly's great when he's funny. I don't know. I saw the trailer and went, that looks like a lot of fun. Doesn't look like it's going to win any awards, but does look like a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to see that. I don't know. What are your thoughts about the Kong movie? Is it too soon? Do they need to do another Kong movie? Because they've made like, I don't know. There's the original one, which is the best. Then there was like one with Jeff Bridges. in the 80s, I believe, which is better than the Peter Jackson one because I hate the Peter Jackson one with a passion. And yeah, I don't like the Peter Jackson one at all. Um, yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. All right, next I'm going to move on to feeding my addiction. So feeding my addiction, I'm not going to be doing probably much in the next couple weeks, but I have some feeding my addictions when I talk about what I've bought lately, and I've been really good in the last like 4 months and barely bought anything. But in the last 2 weeks, I kind of bought some stuff. So yeah, I'm just. I've decided I'm gonna buy a few things. Now they were super cheap, so I'll go through them with you what I bought. For $3 each. This is the thing. If it's $5, it's hard for me not to jump on board. But $3 is even harder. So $3. Drop Zone with Wesley Snipes. Silly kind of action movie, but kind of in the Point Break vein of action movies. It's about like a cop who kind of has to go with like parachuters to infiltrate some kind of theft or something, heist. I don't know. Hold on, let me take a drink. Tonight I am drinking Nest tea, in case you were wondering. So, yeah, Drop Zone, it's fun. It's Wesley Snipes. I've always liked him, even though he's not the greatest actor, and although apparently he's not the greatest guy in person, but still, fun movie. Give Him Hell Malone. I got $3. Give Him Hell Malone is a kind of film noir comedy at times, action movie at times, drama at times. It's film noir. It kind of covers all those sometimes with Thomas Jane. Now, I love Thomas Jane. I've loved Thomas Jane since I saw him as The Punisher and Deep Blue Sea, and I'm just a fan of the man. I think he's pretty cool. I watched Scott Pilgrim last night actually, and he plays one of the vegan police in that. So yeah, it's just it's this kind of really quirky crime noir movie about a detective, and he's searching for the meaning of love or something. And it's it's cool. I like it. If you don't like noir movies, you're gonna hate it. But if you like that kind of stuff, you probably will really enjoy Giving Home Alone. And so I got $3, and I don't know if you can beat that. Um, and the last $3 movie I got was Hard Candy. Now, Hard Candy stars Ellen Page when she was really young, and it's basically about a girl who makes a date with a guy to have sex with him, and it's like someone who shouldn't be having sex with underage girls, and kind of tortures them. Now, I've never fully seen it; I've only seen parts, and it's young Ellen Page, and it's Patrick Wilson, I believe. Yeah, the guy from The Conjuring, and it looks good, and I've heard lots of good things about it. I've kind of avoided it when I was a bit younger because it kind of seemed like, oh, that's pretty dark. But $3, Ellen Page. I'm a fan of Ellen Page. I think she's a really good actress, and so yeah, $3. Okay, what else did I buy? I bought Dave. Do you know Dave? Dave. Yeah, Dave. And you're like, what the frick movie is Dave? And this is where I wish I had visuals, but I'm too lazy to put them together because I did this kind of fast. So next week, maybe I'll have visuals if I can figure that out. Dave is a movie about a guy who pretends to be the president because the president has an accident, and he's like a presidential impersonator for fun. And they kind of stick him in the White House, and he pretends to be the president. And yeah, it's has Sigourney Weaver, and my mind just blanked on who Dave is. What is Dave's name? If you're in the chat, which is CP, if you've seen Dave, tell me who Dave is. What is his name? Anyway, he plays both roles as the president and Dave, and it's really funny, and it's a movie I would never pay $7 for on my own, but my wife really likes it, and Kevin Kline, thank you, CP. Kevin Kline plays Dave, and yeah, my wife's a big fan of it, and $7. I've never seen it on Blu-ray before, so it was just kind of like, okay, I'll get it for her. So I got that, and for $5 each, I got Boogie Nights. Can't go wrong with Boogie Nights. Lost Boys, which I bought because my wife really wanted to show. She really wanted to show this to my daughters, which for Halloween we watched a bunch of scary movies, and it was very funny that my youngest daughter hates Lost Boys. She absolutely hates it. And I felt bad because it's just like kind of when you show a movie to your kids that you were hoping they love because you loved, and one of them hates it, and like she literally hates it. She thinks it's terrible. So yeah, it was kind of funny. So that, and Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, which is an animated direct to movie, like direct to DVD, Blu-ray kind of thing that Warner Brothers did about these Batwoman mystery kind of thing. It's called Mystery of the Batwoman. Well, I'm being descriptive. I know. Can't believe you're paying for this, can you? Because you're not. Anyway, so I got those for $5 each, and that's all I bought, and I've been good past that. So, and apparently there's a really bad delay. Sorry about that, CP. Yeah, you're the only one who's paying attention. So, and I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so moving on to 60 Seconds of Awesome. This is where I basically talk about someone for 60 seconds who I think deserves to be talked about because they're awesome. And today I'm going to talk about Denis Villeneuve, or Dennis Villeneuve, if you're Brian Lomax, because that's who he thinks it is. But it's Denis Villeneuve. And he is a director from Canada, which, represent Canada. I'm from Canada, so I can claim some of his movies, kind of, I guess. I don't know. It's funny, I got told about him years ago when he did this movie called Incendies, and someone even gave me a copy of it, and I didn't watch it. And I was an idiot because Incendies is a really well-made movie, and if you've never seen it, just watch it. It's worth seeing. It's subtitled for a lot of it, but it's really worth seeing. But so he made that, and then he's made Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, which is just phenomenal. An heart-wrenching movie if you're a parent. Sicario, which is freaking awesome. He made Enemy, which is confusing as anything, but really well made. And Jake Gyllenhaal and him kind of had this thing. I guess he likes Jake Gyllenhaal. And what else did he make? Yeah, so Enemy, Sicario. He just made Arrival. Now I just saw Arrival, and I'm going to talk about Arrival a bit later in the podcast. So Arrival is freaking awesome. But so he made that, and he's directing the new Blade Runner movie. So, which is supposed to be, I guess, a sequel. And yeah, the man is talented, and I just think he needs to be recognized as being talented. He needs some awards, some Oscars, whatever. No one gets Oscars anyways, but it's, Oscars suck. But the man is talented, and I think he deserves to be in my 60 Seconds of Awesome. There you go. All right. Next, I'm doing YouTuber of the Week. My next category is YouTuber of the Week. Now, normally, I've always usually done, well, not usually always, but not always usually, they're usually awesome. YouTuber of the Week, I've quite often done people I know. But today, I'm going to do someone I just saw. I've only seen a couple videos of him, but the one video I saw was really freaking informative. Now, I'll start this off by, there's a guy named Tony who does every frame painting, and every frame painting I think I've talked about already. And this guy kind of does some things in the same vein as him, except he did a video called "Why Do Marvel Movies Look Kind of Ugly?" And that I was just like, I saw that as the thumbnail, and I'm just like, Now I don't bash Marvel. I like Marvel movies. They're not perfect, but I like them. And so I was like, okay, so this guy's name is Patrick, and then it's in colons, H. Willems, or Willems. And I will I'll try and put a link to his thing in the description at the end, if I'm a good boy and remember to do that. But yeah, so he did this movie called "Why Do Marvel Movies Look Kind of Ugly?" And he did this video, and it's like a video essay, and he kind of hits it on the head. It's like he's talking all about color correction. And it's something, if you talked to me about before I'd seen his video, I wouldn't have a clue what you were talking about, really. But he breaks it down into why the Marvel movies all look kind of flat and gray, and they don't go perfect dark. And what I mean by that is they don't actually allow for a black thing on camera on film to be black. It's more gray or dark gray, and because of that, a lot of the colors don't pop out. And he explains it like in pretty good detail. And it's not an overly long video, but I highly recommend checking his channel out. It's interesting, and he's done a lot of film stuff. And what if this movie was made by this? And the one I saw, I've only watched like 3 or 4 of his videos so far, but the one I saw was what if X-Men was made by Wes Anderson? And he hits the nail on the head. If X-Men had been made by Wes Anderson, what it would look like. Like, think X-Men and the Royal Tenenbaums thrown together, and it's pretty much exactly what you'd think it is. And it's very, very funny, very well made. And so yeah, he's my YouTube review, Patrick H. Willems. Again, check the links for, or check the description for his link. I'll do that after. Let me look on the list of what I'm doing. Hold on, let me ruffle the pages, because it makes it sound like I'm doing something important when I'm really just ruffling the pages. All right, and before I get to any questions, which would just be from CP at this point, and that's fine, because nobody loves me. I'm going to talk about what I watch now. Letterboxd is a really cool site that I got actually other people hooked onto. You get to go. It's kind of like Rotten Tomatoes, but it's cooler, and you can make friends and follow people and see what they're rating movies, and you can do a movie diary. And I did this religiously for quite a while, and a bunch of months back, I don't remember when, I stopped, and I haven't been on the site in months, and it's terrible. I should be on the site, because I do like writing little reviews for movies and stuff like that, but I've just been really lazy. And you know, when you're lazy, it's hard to get back onto track, like doing BMG Radio. So I haven't, but I plan to in the new year. So I'm going to goof off for the rest of the year with my letterbox. I'm not going to touch it. And then I'm going to, in the new year, get back to doing a diary and doing a proper like list of what I've been watching. I kind of slacked off this year on purpose, because usually, if you know me, I've been keeping track for the last 6 years, 5 or 6 years, of what I watched. In 1 year, I watched 296 films, which sounds awesome until the next year when I blew that away and watched over 400, and then I watched over 500, and then over 600. And if you know my record, if you know me, 767, I think, in 1 year. And I had no life that year, and you know, there's reasons, but I don't get to watch nearly that many movies now due to a job change and due to other stuff. But you know, but I have been watching a few things lately. Now, first thing I got to talk about is Arrival. I finally got to see this. Finally got to go to the theater. Got to sit in a nice dark theater and watch this sci-fi movie that just, it talked to me. I don't know. This movie was the best sci-fi movie I think I've seen since Interstellar. I'm not. I wouldn't say it's as good as Interstellar, but and if you like Interstellar, then you're like, wow, that's good. If you think Interstellar wasn't that good, you're like, oh, so it's not that good. But no, it's really, really good, and it's smart. It doesn't fall into all the normal traps. It does, like, there's a few things that are predictable, but overall, it has really good. It has a really good script. The acting is great. Jeremy Renner is terrific. He's so likable and so funny, and just he's Jeremy Renner. Like, he's been doing action stuff for so long that I think people forgot that he can act like a regular guy. If you haven't ever seen him just act, watch a movie called Kill the Messenger. He's great in it. He carries that whole film, and he plays a reporter in that. So in Arrival, he's terrific. But the person who kind of takes the whole show is Amy Adams, who I'm a big fan of. I know a couple of my friends, like Brian Lomax, is a huge fan of, and she's just terrific in this movie. I loved Arrival. I hope to do a little review for it, but I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to. We'll see how lazy I get. We'll see. I don't know. And yeah, it's good. I give it 5 beards out of 5. It's probably it's either the best movie I've seen all year. Now, I haven't seen a ton of movies this year, but I've seen a fair bit. Or it's among the top 5 right now. I would put it among the top 5 easily. But I'm not. I'd have to watch, or I'd have to look up the list and see what I watched, if that makes any sense. So which I got to do anyways, because I haven't been keeping track. Sorry. All right, and so yeah, Arrival. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really worth your time. Rocky 5. Now, me and my daughters have been watching all the Rocky movies lately, and my wife. And take a drink if you are playing the drinking game. And Rocky 5 is the least good Rocky film in any way. There's nothing really good about it. It's just not good. Like, I don't like the story. I don't like the way it's filmed. I hate Tommy Gunn, or Tommy whatever his name is. The whole thing is not good. It's not a bad movie, but it's just, compared to every other Rocky movie, like, you can say they're cheesy, but at least they're good. And Rocky 5 is just not a good movie. It's just, it's not a good Rocky movie, but it's not a good movie. And so we watched that, but that means we now get to watch Rocky Balboa, which is among the best Rocky movies, in my opinion. And I'll be watching that soon. So, yeah. I don't know. What else? Oh, yeah. And I watched Scott Pilgrim. I just mentioned that. The last movie I'm going to talk about, I watched Scott Pilgrim with my friend Bear. Which when we were talking about doing Bearded Movie Guys stuff. And we showed it to my daughters. Take a drink. And hold on. I'll take a shot since no one, CP can't. All right. So, yeah, Scott Pilgrim. If you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim, it's freaking awesome. It's the editing in that film is insane. And it's just, it works so well if you're into it. If you're not into it, you'd hate it. But we were talking about, I'm like, my father would hate this movie because he'd just be like, I don't understand. Why do they keep on doing this? And why is that? And why is the girl talking and a bar comes over her mouth? But it is such a good movie. There's no one huge in the movie, but everyone just plays their part so well, and the story is so well told. I need a speech coach. Yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. All right, Rocky, by the way. I never gave Rocky a score. 2.5 beards for Rocky 5. 5 beards out of 5 for Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It is, without a doubt, a very individualistic movie that there's no other Scott Pilgrim movies out there. It's just, yeah, I love it. So, all right. So I have no clue how long I've been doing this so for. It doesn't tell me. Probably tells me anything. Let's see. I'm still learning this, so I appreciate anyone who is still with me, which would be CP, or anyone who's watching afterwards. I'm not probably going to put a picture, or I'm not probably going to have my face on these. I'm going to allow the cool pictures that my friends have made for the next little while. It's going to be this Christmas one. So yeah, okay, let's look at the questions. I know CP has something about Twilight in here because I said I'd answer anything. All right. Okay, okay, yeah, so I made money off of this video because a commercial paid. I haven't made a dime off of YouTube the entire time of being on it. I haven't made enough money. I haven't made enough money to be paid by anything. And you know what? I don't even care at this point. All right, so I'll answer any question. What do you think is the greatest aspect of the Twilight series? And can you say anything like the fact that they're over, and you can't say anything like the fact they're over. Genuine thing from the filmmaking side. From the filmmaking side, some of the cinematography wasn't bad in a couple of the films. Like, some of it was, like, the first film in particular was really bad, and so was the second. I think the third one, the cinematography got a bit better. The Cullen's house is really nice. If that, the end fight scene in the last one is particularly pretty awesome for a Twilight movie. And then if you've never seen it, you find out that it never happens. And so it's kind of disappointing. But you see it happen, but it never happens actually in the movie. So let's see. The greatest aspect. I think the greatest aspect is that it gave Robert Pattinson a career. Because Kristen Stewart would have had one anyways, even though she's not that. She has no range as an actress. But Robert Pattinson, I don't think would have had a career at all without that movie. Not that that's a good thing, but that is a good thing for him, I guess. You know, it helps his paycheck, helps his wallet, and hopefully maybe he did something nice for his parents and bought them a house. I don't know. I don't know the guy. So, yeah, I get. See, I'd like to say the greatest aspect is that it got teenagers who might not be into vampires, but the problem was it got them into quasi vampires and they thought they knew about vampires. And so when you tried to talk to someone and they're like, I love vampires, they sparkle, and it's just you wanted to smack somebody. So yeah, the filmmaking side, like I said, some of the cinematography is not bad. But the storytelling is just pathetic, and the sparkly aspect just drives me nuts. All right. Next question from CP. They remake everything and tweak it. Money Monster is essentially Dog Day Afternoon, right down to them calling in the robber's wife to try and calm him down. All right. Is that a statement? There was no question there. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Money Monster yet, but I saw the trailer, and it does look a lot like Dog Day Afternoon, except not nearly as good. Dog Day Afternoon is a phenomenal film, and I actually it's funny because my one friend who was in high school asked me for a movie that showed how media can be used within a movie, and I was like, Dog Day Afternoon, because like the media actually like fuels that movie the way it works and stuff, and like the way the whole bank robbery, like from going wrong to how it gets way out of hand and all that stuff, and the media influence. And he showed it to his class so much so like he showed it to his teacher, and his teacher loved it so much that he showed it to the class. And it's such a well-made movie, and so yeah, I think there's so many things, and I guess this remake's obviously about the Groundhog Day remake thingy. And it's just, they are remaking everything. I'm getting pissed with Disney. I'm just tired with Disney because I saw the Beauty and the Beast trailer and apparently people love it, but to me it looked terrible. Like the effects on the talking things looked terrible. The Beast looked bad. Emily Watson was the only thing that worked for me actually. So, but overall, it's just well, actually, I didn't mind Luke Evans as Gaston, but that's just me. I like Luke Evans. I think he's a good actor. Um, but yeah, they're remaking everything. They're not. There's no such thing as originality anymore with most people. Although Arrival was really good. Like it harkened back to some other movies, but every movie does that in some ways nowadays. But the remakes are really starting to like get on my nerves. And how they just and it's they're not even trying to hide it as much anymore. But they're just not. They're not even saying like, "Oh, we're remaking this." You know, it's like we're just. They just pretend like it's not and just keep on going on. It's like Trump who talks and then says, oh, "I didn't say that." You know, and just keeps on going on to the next thing. So, all right. Next thing CP has to say. Awesome job, man. Staying under. Oh, sorry, I lost it. Staying under the $5 rule and getting some quality entertainment. Can't beat that. Shit rentals go for around $3 in most places, so keeping shit for a tad more. So, yeah, I have this thing called my friend calls it $5 kryptonite rule. That and it happened when Blockbuster used to be around, because Blockbuster once their DVDs had been around for a certain amount of time, they'd sell them off, and sooner or later they'd put them in the 4 for 20 bin, which to me broke down to $5 per movie. And I got this rule that came about that like it was literally like, oh, if it's $5 a movie, I can justify that. It's only $5 for a movie. It was $3 to $4 to rent a movie. So even if I didn't like the film, I haven't lost that much. I could give it to a friend. And so I literally had this, and so this was a rule for $5. If a movie was $6, I could literally walk away from it. It was like, oh, that movie's $7? No thanks. I'll wait until it's 5. Now, when Blu-rays first came out and when I started collecting them, at first it was the $10 Blu-ray rule because none of them were $5. But then sooner or later they all started coming down. So it's the same thing for Blu-rays now. I don't collect DVDs anymore. Only Blu-rays. And yeah, if it's not $5, it's really hard. The only reason I bought Dave was for my wife. If it just been for me, I wouldn't have bought it. But yeah, $3, like $3 for a movie. It's even, like I said, if you hate it, you throw it away. You give it to a friend. It's like you haven't wasted anything. So I'm a big believer in that. That's how my collection gets padded, and has gotten bigger. Okay, Tallulah is a really good Ellen Page film. Netflix movie released this year. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I'm a big fan of her. So yeah, Kevin Kline was the guy in Dave. No drinks. Adam Carter. They antagonize these ancient beings by building a theme park. I'm not sure what that means, Adam. Can you specify what that means? I know it's going to take like 5 minutes for it to. They antagonize these ancient beings. And then CP says, yeah, man, just statements for some of the stuff, and your answer was just fine. And yeah, thank you, CP. Yeah, my show, like I used to do this as like a thing where I recorded it separately and then edited it. And I'm decided to try doing the whole live thing because it's a bit easier and a bit less taxing. And who knows, when my friend comes on, I may get him to throw some stuff up. Maybe he could co-host with me sometimes too, because he doesn't like being in front of the camera. He's too afraid, which I used to get. So yeah, I'm not sure what they antagonize these ancient beings by building a theme park. I'm still not sure what Adam Carter was talking about there. But yeah, so that's it for this BMG radio. It's called Back in the Saddle, Still Missing a Horse, because I'm getting there, but I'm not there. So, it's kind of like I'm getting back to it. But this turn back in 6 months, and this hopefully will look a lot slicker than it does today. So, with that saying, hold on, let me get some theme music up. There we go. So I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in to watch me or is watching me in the future. And just, yeah, again, thanks to Tim from Later Juice for the cool theme. And yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time. You told Sekla. Oh, and you can ask me questions whenever you want on the other way, and I'll answer them in my head. Well, you told Sekla.